Main man here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing. I wanted to redo this video right here, man, because it was a lot of technical difficulties, if you will, in the last vid. So a lot of people were saying that they couldn't hear some of the things that I was saying. It's kind of messed up because we was doing pretty good in the view department there, but whatever, man. So I will do the video again. And I was basically talking about Eddie Hearn saying that he never saw proof or never asked to see proof of funds. And this comes from a new IFL interview that came out today. And like I stated before, man, it just exposes some of the pettiness of Eddie Hearn. You know, this was clearly Eddie Hearn trying to discredit the Boxing Voice. And for those who do not know what the Boxing Voice is, it's a YouTube channel from what I understand. But it's also an outlet where they let boxing fans call into their show and voice their opinions. And it seems as if that Eddie Hearn is trying to discredit that whole program. He's trying to basically say, yo, I never told it's the Boxing Voice out here spreading these rumors about saying that, we needed to see proof of funds. I never asked to see proof of funds. And according to Eddie Hearn, he's saying that not pertaining to the first set of offers, pertaining when he was trying to deal with Shelly Finkel, but now that he's dealing with Al Haymon and Al Haymon's team, no, he didn't ask to see proof of funds, and they're 70% of the way there. So that's what Eddie Hearn was basically trying to say. Now, to some fans, it looks like he pivoted and posturing, because at the end of the day, we all know he asked to see for proof of funds originally. He stated that he wanted to see this $50 million in escrow. He wanted to know where it came from because, they didn't want to whore Anthony Joshua's name. Isn't that what he said? He wanted to make sure that the payments, that the funds were secure, according to Eddie Hearn. So, of course, he asked to see proof. But when he was allegedly going back and forth with Shelly Finkel, well, now that he's dealing with Al Haymon, oh, no, we know Al Haymon is good for the money. So, no, we never asked to see proof. This is now according to Eddie Hearn. See, I've always was under the mindset that if you're dealing with one member of Wilder's team, you're dealing with all of them. But according to Eddie Hearn, he believes as though that Shelly Finkel and Al Haymon is playing good cop, bad cop. It's hard to deal with Shelly Finkel, but it's very easy to deal with Al Haymon. So he's saying that this is basically a whole new ball game. And he has now sent over a set of questions to Al Haymon, that if Al Haymon answers these questions, they're pretty much close to a deal. And from what last we heard about these questions, these are some of the questions pertaining to negotiations, like where is this fight going to be held? What venue is it going to be held at? And when I hear that, I say to myself, well, you must be relinquishing a side to the Wilder's team. If you send in them questions, asking them questions, are you giving up the A side? Because, ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, that's all that's need to be made up about this fight. Now, don't fool yourselves. I'm not fooling myself. I don't believe that the fight will happen this year. I've accepted that notion. I am at peace with this situation now, man. I'm tired of going back and forth with AJ Nation, and I know they're tired of going back and forth with me. I'll let the other channels continue to do that. But the fact is, man, I'm done. I'm very convinced that the fight happens next summer and not this year, in my opinion. I don't care what negotiations are going on now. Some people say that, well, man, they might want to get it done this year because they don't want to see Wilder fight Brazil, and no one wants to see Joshua go over and try to fight Povetkin, even though that will still be a decent fight. But they know that it will lose their purse bid, and they will have to go to Russia to face Povetkin. So there's some people suggest they will want to get this fight made before all that go down. That could be a possibility. But I listen to the words of Barry Hearn. I listen to the words of Eddie Hearn. And I hear them state that they want this thing in the summertime, and they want it in a stadium or an arena, according to them. Well, that can't happen right now. Time is way too short. But one person who does fight next month is Tyson Fury. Oh, they're going to get a good look at Fury. According to Frank Warren, Fury will fight 3 times before the year is out, ladies and gentlemen. Fury, if he wins these 3 fights and look good doing it, well, ladies and gentlemen, come next year, The calls between Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, or Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, will begin to grow louder. You get me? So I don't know how this goes. Maybe if they can get Tyson Fury early next year and maybe get Deontay Wilder next summer, I think that will be the preferred plan, in my opinion. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see these negotiations drag out for a while. I think so. I think we're all waiting for that smoking gun. We're waiting for that aha moment. I don't think it happens, man. Truth be told, I think they keep on straddling this thing. And I do think they go and face not Alexander Povetkin, but Jarrell Big Baby Miller or someone else. Reason I say this, Eddie Hearn, is one thing he's been touting about this Povetkin situation is that they have a very good chance of getting an exception granted by the WBA. That's what they keep saying. That's what he keeps saying, as if he has some sort of inside scoop that he can do this. I'm sure certain money can be paid. You know what I mean? I'm sure. But then again, in Alexander Povetkin's case, he may not want step-aside money. There have been times in fights dealing with Alexander Povetkin, he will not take step-aside money. He works for a billionaire. So maybe his billionaire, Rabinski, wants this shot. And if he wants it, guess what? He's going to put his foot in the gas to get it. So I don't know if step-aside money is in play. But according to Eddie Hearn, he can request an exception. And maybe the WBA will grant him that. I don't know. But I truly don't believe that they want this Wilder fight. At least not now. I'm going to say that. At least not now. But however, on the other side of the tracks, I don't know if the Wilder camp wants this fight right now. See, no matter what we believe, ladies and gentlemen, I've come to this conclusion. They still have to build this fight. I honestly don't even think the $50 million number probably is big enough. They still want to make this fight bigger. According to Barry Hearn, he feels as though the fight can marinate a little longer and it can be bigger. Those were his words. He doesn't feel as though the fight should happen this year. Those are not Main Man Made Man words or anybody else here on YouTube. Those are Barry Hearn's words. So I'm going to rock with that. But we all know Eddie Hearn originally, when he was dealing with Finkel, which like I said before, I always thought that he was dealing with Haymon and Finkel since the beginning. And he stated, he want to put some spin in this shit. Like, I didn't ask it for from Finkel, but I asked for it from Haymon. Come on, Joe. Like, we ain't buying that, man. Come on, man. He clearly is just trying his best to discredit the boxing voice. Now, I originally, when I did this video, I stated that the boxing voice, which they did put Eddie Hearn on the spot. We seen the interview that they had, what was that, last week, I believe? They had an interview out in which they were basically grilling Eddie Hearn, asking him about the money. Do you believe the money is there? And they did get Eddie Hearn to state on tape that he believes that they can either get the money or raise the money. Some fans took that and they ran with it. But then again, I did hear the Boxing Voice do a podcast as of recent. And the headline on that thing is that Eddie Hearn has been shown the proof of funds. So that made me go, well, hold up. They actually entitled the video this. Now, I didn't listen to the whole podcast, so I don't know if that's the point that they were making, but that is the title of the video. Maybe they did have some inside knowledge that it did go down that way. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, Eddie Hearn, since he was embarrassed by the Boxing Voice in that particular interview when they made him confess to the fact that he believes that the other side can raise the money. Oh, man, that was embarrassing. You couple that with the fact that a couple months prior, they were able to get Eddie Hearn, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, and Shelly Finkel all on the same phone call, in which they, to their credit, and I gave them credit, they basically set up the fact that they were going to start meetings and phone calls, maybe pushing Eddie a little further than he wanted to go. So now he's embarrassed. Now he's embarrassed. He's upset about the fact that the Boxing Voice is actually a successful outlet. You know what I'm saying? I would prefer the Boxing Voice over, what's the guy he listened to? The Coogan guy. IFL TV. They in your pocket. Boxing Voice ain't in your pocket. So they're going to challenge you. I prefer to listen to them any day. Any day. If Ness and that whole crew did come out and state that Eddie Hearn has been shown proof of funds, and they were wrong, So be it, man. Y'all can say what y'all want. Maybe y'all don't rock with me on that, but so be it. Because I rock with the boxing voice. And I like what they do for the boxing community. And Eddie Hearn should like that too. For him to be so petty. Petty, ladies and gentlemen. To step on a business, if you will, or an outlet that promotes his fighters' fights. That talks about it round the clock. Have the fans call in on it. Eddie Hearn should not go against anything like that. Now, if you want to correct them and say, yo, hold on, y'all are off base with this one, then say it that way. But let's not forget their duty and what they do. And what we all do for that matter. And that is hype up your fighters. And they do it on a bigger stage than most. So Eddie Hearn need to realize who the hell he talking to. I'm sick of these promoters running around here like they run boxing, like they run the fans. They don't run the fans. You got to convince the fans, my man. And you going at the outlets that we love. Well, that don't convince us of nothing, man. That don't convince us of nothing. I'm sick of seeing AJ Nation and Wilder Nation go against each other, truth be told. Because it's like y'all using us as pawns. And I feel this way now. I'm hyping y'all fight and y'all ain't doing nothing but crapping on us. That don't work. It don't work. And this goes, ladies and gentlemen, for both sides. There got to come a time where us boxing fans got to take the power back, take control of this sport back. And remember that at the end of the day, and I'm going to say this, the fighters, the promoters, the managers, all of them, they work for us. Without our dollars, the sport doesn't live, ladies and gentlemen. You get me? So I'm not going to be used. I'm not going to be used to say this for the gotcha moments. You know, it's maybe good for views. It may be good for those who on here trying to, you know, break records and views and all that. You know, hats off to you. But at the end of the day, I'm just not going to be doing it, man. I'm not getting hyped up and arguing with y'all just to have to change my point a week later because, you know, we don't know who telling the truth and who lying. At the end of the day, these fools can be working together. So I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it no more. I don't know. I'm going to say both sides eventually wants to fight. They may not want it today. They may not want it this year. But they eventually wants to do it when the time is right. And right now, both sides are fighting over control. The venue. Where is it going to be held at? How much side dollars can I make? What kind of endorsements? Who's the companies I'm going to allow to put some money into this fight? That's where they at. It ain't about purse. It ain't about one person not wanting to fight and the other side wanting to fight. They're actually negotiating. They're beyond. Remember, I did a video. They needed the agreement first, and then they can start the negotiations. Somewhere along all of us fussing and arguing, an agreement was made, ladies and gentlemen. An agreement was made. You don't get 70% into a negotiation until the agreement is made. Somewhere along the line, some phone calls were made. And I'm tired of playing this game. So y'all keep arguing. Have fun doing that. I'll watch y'all. You know what I mean? I'll sit back and take it all in. But at the end of the day, I just want the people who listen to this channel not be fooled. There's too much money on the table for neither side to not want this fight. Yeah, it may break a person's legacy or it may expose them for this. But at the end of the day, we're talking maybe 1-2 fights here. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of paper. No one really loses. So, I mean, look, I'm looking at this situation different. I'm sorry if y'all fans want to come here, hear me turn up and go all off on Eddie Hearn and all that. Yo, I'm done with that shit, man. I'm moving on to other fights. You know what I mean? I'm starting to ignore this thing now because, honestly, I'm sick of hearing about it. Just make the freaking fight already. You know what I mean? So, I don't even know if I argue this much during Mayweather-Pacquiao. Real talk. But I was just getting started then. But still, man. You know what I mean? Not doing it no more. So y'all keep on rocking with that notion. I do believe that both of these camps are working. We will get a fight eventually. They're both playing for position. They're both playing the public to get us to hype this fight up, which is cool. But I'm moving on. We got some very, very good fights coming up. Lomachenko versus Linares. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most. I'll let this thing continue to brew. I'll let the other channels continue to cover every sentence that come out. But at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, we all being played. And I'm done. I'm done playing this game. Made Man out. To the next video, Made Man, Made Man. Don't forget to subscribe. Twitter, Made Man 511. Facebook, Made Man, Boxing Forum. Google Plus, Made Man, Made Man. I'm tired of talking about it anyway. I'm tired of talking about it anyway, man. Like, real shit. It ain't like we talking about Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier here. You know what I mean? Shit, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So it is what it is, man. I mean, get the fight made. You know, whatever happens, man. Whoever was right, whoever was wrong. Oh, I got you there. I got you there. I don't know. I'm just fucking tired of it. And the shit just starting to sound pussy. So to the next video. Peace out.